Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America and all the ships at sea. Remember Walter Winchell? No, you're too young.
Well, I wasn't personally acquainted with Walter Winchell, no.
Welcome to the radio program with the most interested people in the Burton View, Caldwell, Beeson Triangle. We have a high Nielsen rating in the Burton View, Beeson Triangle. Well, no, that's only 2.
Well, it's a short triangle.
All right. Our guest will be with us shortly after we fool around here for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Kudos.
I have to learn to be more distinct when I speak.
I try to start.
Say 8:15.
Would you kind of put her down so I could say start the program this morning? Viewpoint, program of politicians and other people. Can you fill that out?
Not today.
All right. Okay, seriously. We'll start Viewpoint with a kudo.
Yes.
The tragedy over in Paris, France.
Oh, dear.
A huge fire, which reminded me, of course, of the first responders everywhere and how really, really important they are. To our first responders here in Lincoln and Logan County, kudos to them for the job they do. May they never have a job that entitles the kind of tragedy that took place over there. You know, I used to go to church in that big church.
Did you really?
Yes, I go there about twice a month.
Well, yeah. That's nice to know. That must have been absolutely breathtaking.
Well, I'll tell you what was breathtaking, and this serious note here. I went to an organ concert there one time.
Oh, my.
Made that building tremble. My goodness gracious, I have no idea how many pipes they had in that. And I don't know anything about music or organ music and how many stops or anything like that, but they pulled out everything, and that was really an experience. Can
you remind me again how many years it took to build that the first time around? Because they say that they're going to reconstruct it in 5 years.
Yeah. 800 years or something like that. No, that's not right. That's the age of the timbers that were in there. You weren't paying attention to the news releases, were you?
I guess not. Once again, I was a step off the pace.
No, but it took But now, a serious note, and no facetiousness here. When you stand over there and look at those magnificent structures in Europe that were built so long ago, and what you do, you stand there and you think, how in the world how could they do that? Well, for that matter, I sit there at the Mama's Arcade in the mornings and look across at our courthouse. And I wonder how they did that, given the tools of the time. Mm-hmm. But you look at those magnificent structures over there, such as the Cathedral of Notre Dame, and you know what tools they had available. Morning, girls.
Good morning.
Are you awake?
A little bit.
Good. Well, you snuck in under the wire.
Well, almost. Go ahead. We've had our chat talking, so it's your turn.
I was just talking about Katie Dalpoas just a minute ago.
Oh, were you? I hope it was good.
Well, I would tell you one thing. I'm going to call Mark Landers and tell him to watch for these girls going home, because they sure got here in a hurry.
No idea what you're talking about.
No. We went the speed limit the whole time.
Mrs. Busby, why don't you introduce these ladies?
I could do that. They are representing Community Action, Breann, Titus, and Katie Dalpoas, and they're going to be having the annual Cheeseburgers in Paradise.
Yes.
Let's talk about the time, date, and place, and also about the proceeds.
Yes, so the countdown is officially on. It is April 27th. It's a Saturday evening. It will start at 6 p.m., and it is held at the Lincoln Banquet Center on Madigan Drive. And proceeds, I mean, the important part about this fundraiser is, of course, those proceeds, because we do this fundraiser every year, and this is at the 14th?
I think so.
The 14th year that we've done this fundraiser, because we raise money that goes into the programming that we do at Community Action. It helps those self-sufficiency programs, it helps those anti-poverty programs, and it helps so many customers that we serve every year. And this is our largest fundraiser.
Yep, we're able to generate between $25,000 and $30,000 every year from this fundraiser.
Is
My
that
goodness,
right?
that's a lot of money. Lady.
Isn't that a lot of money?
That goes a long way.
That goes a long way. And that's, I mean, a huge shout out to our communities, you know, that we serve. You know, and a lot of that comes from right here in Logan County. But we do have some of our other counties that contribute to that fundraiser as well. But, I mean, that's really a testament to our community and our businesses here that have made these donations to make that possible. The people that sponsor tables or that sponsor the event, we really couldn't do it without them. And so it's a huge testament to show just how much the community supports Community Action and what they're willing to do, you know, to help others.
Local money, staying local,
Yes.
which is rather important.
It really is, especially right now.
It's interesting that we're just talking about the terrible fire over there in France. It's interesting that the money will come from all over the world to rebuild that.
Yes, it is amazing.
That's just, you know, Elkhart, Illinois. There'll be money out of Elkhart, Illinois.
Yeah, to
Think
go
about
help
that.
it.
It's rather amazing. But in this case here, Cheeseburgers for Paradise. Tell us about the genesis of that program. How did it get started, and how does it work?
How's it evolved? Well, we weren't there when it started, but apparently somebody at Community Action really loved Jimmy Buffett. And so they came up with this Cheeseburger in Paradise theme, and, you know, it really took off, and people love it. We one year we ran out of Lay's, you know, to give people, and they were disappointed. Like, they come in their Hawaiian shirts and their cheeseburger hats, and they're ready to eat a cheeseburger and a margarita and listen to some Jimmy Buffett, and it's a fun night. We get a guy out of St. Louis. He's the world's most dangerous one-man band. But he comes and he plays a lot of Jimmy Buffett music, but then he also intermixes in some more like current music as well. So, you know, it's a lot of fun. There's some dancing that goes on. But we also have a raffle. We have a silent auction. We have a live auction. We do a bottle draw.
What was that?
A bottle draw.
Bottle draw.
Yeah, so we get bottles of alcohol donated that range in, I know.
So rebellious.
You're right, I know.
I'm shocked.
I know, right? It's we're so risky. But the bottles usually range between like $7 and $8 to up to like $40 or $50. There's not a lot of $40 to $50 bottles in there.
But there are more 7 and 8.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we wrap them
Cheap
up
stuff,
so
like
you
I
can't
drink.
tell what they look like. And then you pay $20 and you get to randomly guess.
Oh,
So it's like
okay.
a grab bag.
Yes. So you might get, you know, a really nice top shelf bottle of vodka, or you might get some Barefoot Moscato. But
What
which
in the
I really
world is
like
that?
Barefoot
I
Moscato,
have
by
no.
the way.
I tell you how far I am. I have no idea what she's talking about.
But it seems to, they love that. I mean, we started that 2 years ago?
2 years ago, yeah.
And we just thought it was kind of a different idea, something we hadn't done before, something that didn't take a lot of extra work on our part, because it's a lot of work to do this fundraiser. And people loved it. They absolutely loved it, and they look forward to it every year.
We sell out of all the bottles every
yes.
year.
Really?
wonderful.
Yeah,
interesting.
we sell out of
Everything.
tables, yeah, everything. we were sold out on the event at least a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago.
You know, people would
That's very
pay you for your secret. Because I'm sure that there have been an awful lot of fundraisers in the big city of Lincoln, America, that haven't gone quite that well.
Right.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is, you know, the mission of Community Action. People really appreciate
I
what
think
we're
there's the
doing
answer
out
right
there. And then it's fun, you know.
It's laid back.
It's laid back. It's cheeseburgers, and you don't have to dress up, you know, and but it all
High
goes,
heels aren't required for either the men or the women?
they're not required, but
Welcome, but not
Yeah.
required. And one of the things we really focused on when we kind of took over this event 3 years ago now, I think. 4 years ago. Yeah, it's been a while. We really wanted to introduce that fun, multi-generational event. We have a lot of supporters that have supported community action for years and years and years. And there's so many new young professionals that have come into the community, that have come back to the community, that also wanted to get involved. And so we wanted to make sure that everybody was welcome, everybody was comfortable, and we could kind of have a place where they could network with some of the different people, the people that have been in the community and had successful businesses for a long time, and then they can kind of network with those younger professionals as well. And it really is a great mix of people. And you can just see in the room how they all kind of come together in one night to support such a great organization and great programming.
we if you include the volunteers and the staff that are in there, we have almost 400 people in the building.
Is that right?
Yeah.
My goodness.
And the fire marshal says that the
We're
top
good.
number is
We're good on capacity, but that is about all you can fit in there.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
are.
I'm sure.
It is a packed event. It is fun.
We're
well.
talking about
Bless your heart. So that's darn lucky, because you have so many programs
Yes.
out
do.
there. I think one of your programs that's especially well known is the daycare.
Oh, Head Start.
Head Start,
Yeah,
yeah.
our
Yeah.
preschool.
And that starts with little kids,
Yep. All the way up to birth, to 5 years old.
all the way up to birth.
Yes, right.
The mother has to take care of them up to birth.
Right. Well, actually, we do assist the women while they're pregnant.
Yep, we do help pregnant mamas.
And kind of get them prepared for that process. And then, of course, once they have the child, we work on getting them into the early Head Start program. So, so we start with the pregnant mamas and we work our way up until the 5 years old range until they're getting ready for kindergarten.
That's a pretty complicated operation.
Yeah.
We have an operation here. It's called Operation Sponsorship.
Oh.
And we're going to, at this point, speaking of community support, we have a lot of community support for our sponsors.
Yes.
And that's because Mr. Ash does such a good job of making sure that their ads go out on time.
Yes.
So that's what we're going to work with right now, Mr.
All
Ash. Go
right.
right ahead. And we're right back live in the studios here at WLCN. The program, of course, is not Walter Winchell's Good Morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, all the ships at sea.
The girls across the way from us here probably have absolutely no idea.
I know they're sitting there.
You are
Who in
100%
who in
correct.
the hey is Walter Winchell? We have for two young ladies from Community Action, Breann Titus, related to Titus Moody of Jack Benny fame. They never heard of Jack Benny. And Katie Dalpoas, who's following what we missed at the Oasis.
Yes.
Dolan did a great job for us down through the years. We're doing fine out there now. But
Yep.
you get comfortable with people.
Sure.
Yeah,
And
we
he
were-
loved it out there.
Oh, yeah,
He loved
yeah.
doing that.
And we used to get him up here at 8:15.
Oh,
We were early.
So we're happy to have these girls with us. They're representing our community action. It's an operation that may be kind of quiet, but those who receive the benefits of what community action does are certainly very grateful. Doing a lot of job, a great job in this community, helping people at a time when help is critical, not important.
Yes.
So we appreciate your being with us this morning, ladies. And
you
we'll
for
kid
having
you.
us.
We'll kid you a little bit from time to time. Don't worry about it.
Absolutely.
We expect
That's
it.
part of the MO. So, Judith Kay, we were talking about the project called Ham Cheeseburgers in Paradise. I never had a cheeseburger that I thought was paradise ever. Even Ernie Edwards on the Chicago Street didn't have cheeseburgers, and they were good. But anyway, a fundraiser, and they raise a considerable amount of money, which is a wonderful thing. But that isn't done without a lot of work. and a lot of support.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So, Breann and Katie, we're happy to have you with us to talk to us about
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Speaking of that support, we have, we always want to mention we call them our big cheese sponsors.
Oh.
For Cheeseburger in Paradise. But those are the organizations or individuals that donate $990 to the event, and
That's a pretty big cheeseburger.
That's a big
cheese.
They're the big cheese.
Well, they
So,
are.
and those that's Eaton, that's ALMH, Abraham Lincoln Memorial Hospital, and Rail Splitter Properties. Those were our big cheese sponsors this year. We're very grateful for their continued support for the event.
Yeah.
By the way, those folks, they step up to the plate often. Clyde and Sherry Reynolds do a great job supporting our community in many ways, such as this project.
Yes.
Eaton always has a big bet when they step into the batter's box to help in the community.
Agree.
And your other one just went blank.
The hospital, ALMH.
ALMH, well, yes. Who can forget? Might be a time you need them. You better be kind to them.
Right.
Well, seriously, not only health-wise are they terribly important to our community,
Yeah.
but as a part of our community sponsorships,
Yes.
they always step up to the
They
plate
do.
too.
And our, one of our former executive directors, Angela Stolzenberg,
Yes.
works out at the hospital. So,
And she's always been a great advocate for us because she knows community action, she knows the mission, and we work very well with her. It's a great partnership that we have with her, and we're definitely thankful for that.
Well, she's a heck of a one to have on your side.
Yes, exactly.
Well,
yeah.
she got her training at Gossett, for goodness sakes.
oh, is that right?
That's where it all started.
She worked for us a year as a high schooler. So
Yeah,
I'll tell you
sure.
how long ago.
It obviously did her well.
Dulce.
Yeah.
Dulce is a great kid.
He trained in a lot of good kids there.
Including some Busby kids.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I have quite a litany of great kids, high schoolers that worked for us down through the years, many years back. Cheeseburgers. Let's specify the time and the arrival time.
Yep.
So, Breann, you go ahead on.
Yes, it is April 27th. It's a Saturday evening. Doors will open at 6 o'clock, and that will start the whole shindig that night. And it is at the Lincoln Banquet Center.
Tell them where that is, because a lot of people might not remember that.
Yes, it's at on Madigan Drive. I believe it's 201 Madigan Drive. It's right behind. Which hotel is that? Is it the Super 8?
I think so.
Taco Bell's sit there across the way. There's El Mazatlan, which also
Yeah, it's right there by El
supports
Maz.
the event.
Somehow I knew you knew where that was.
Yeah, of course. I've been there a lot. And we'll spend a lot of time there in the next week. But yeah, I mean, Lincoln Banquet Center has been great working with them. They're very, very supportive of this event, super supportive of community action, always there to help and make this event as easy as possible for us. El Mazatlan is always sponsored the event as well. We also have an event sponsor this year with Invenergy. Invenergy is part of the Wind Farm family.
Oh, yes.
And they have stepped up to the plate in the last year and a half. We've gotten a great partnership with them, and they've been able to give us some sponsorship funds to help some of our programming in a couple instances. So we're very thankful for that sponsorship as well.
Well, you have quite a list of people that are interested in your programs.
Yes. Katie and I work a lot to really build some positive relationships in the community. Our executive director is the same way, but we make sure that every person that we speak to, they leave with a positive experience. And it was funny, I was talking to one of our new interns, and she's been there not quite a full 2 weeks, and she was mentioning that she never realized all of what community action does. And she said it's just kind of mind-blowing for her to see all the aspects that we do. And I mentioned to her that a lot of times when Katie and I have conversations, it's people really associate community action with either the program that they have experience with or a program that they utilize, not necessarily the big picture. So if they have used transportation before, that's what they associate community action with. Head Start is common. but there's so many more pieces of the puzzle.
The transportation
Yes.
business is relatively new and certainly well accepted.
Yes.
Can you address that?
Well, we've actually been doing the senior transportation for many years. I don't know the exact
But this
start
now
date.
is y'all come. Isn't it?
Yes, we did the public transportation for a little while, but then we stepped back from that, but we still are able to offer rides to individuals who aren't in that senior population. We have to prioritize seniors, since that's what the grant that we received, that's just the requirements of that grant. But if you are, 43 and you need a ride and you want to make a call in, we can schedule you a ride and make sure you get where you need to go.
Anybody, Mr. or Mrs. or Miss,
Yes.
just
Yeah,
call in
buddy.
if there's a need that,
Yep.
that they perceive.
Yep.
Maybe not be your perception.
Yep. We do a huge ridership for DaVita for dialysis. We do a lot of medical, taking people back and forth to their DaVita appointments. We work super closely with DaVita. They've been amazing. And my grandmother actually utilizes, she lives out of sight of Lincoln and utilizes the transportation, and it has been a godsend because, being able to know she's taken care of and she's able to get the ride without, us having to make sure she's there on time. And it's just been so awesome. And they're a suggested donation for seniors. And so nobody will be turned away if they're unable to pay for that ride, which is important. But
And all the vehicles are ADA accessible.
Yep.
So anybody can get on the bus or the van. So
You used the word important, and I would guess that I'm correct in saying it's not only important, in some cases, it's vital.
yes. We've had,
That's a terrible service
yeah,
for people.
we've, in lots of situations.
Great
with-
service is what I should say.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And then the medical situation, there's a lot of times that some of the people we've met through dialysis, obviously they need to be there. And they don't have family that's local that can help get them back and forth to their appointments. And if our capsule trans wasn't available, they wouldn't be able to get there. And so we really feel like it's kind of a life-saving, important program for a lot of people.
My husband, who had to go to dialysis 3 times a week, certainly knew how important it was to
Yeah.
be there and to be there on time. And it extends their life, and they're darn sick.
Yeah. And it takes some pressure off the family when we're able to step in and help out. We have some patients that we deal with. I think they have family that is always there to help when they need it, and they're super supportive of that person. But it does take some pressure off the family and makes them feel like we can step in when we need to and help them get there.
That's just one of the many facets of help that community action offers to our community. Now let's take the little folks now. Operation Head Start.
Yes.
Take that from its beginning, and how does that work?
So if they do start in that early Head Start program, that can start as early as, like we said, like a mama who's pregnant and she's getting ready to have a baby. They work with the mama to understand, what to expect. Sometimes these are first-time mothers. Sometimes, they're single moms, young moms that are, needing help. So we're able to assist them with that, and then once the baby is born, work with them on different developmental stages throughout the way, and really prepare the child for preschool, which then they're able to go into our Head Start preschool program. And then really while they're in Head Start preschool, that goal is really to help prepare them for kindergarten and transitioning into the school system. So we our teachers. We have great teachers. We have great staff who really genuinely care about, these little people, and making sure that, they're learning everything that they can. And also we provide a case management coaching service for those families that attend. So if your child is in Head Start and you're needing help getting a job, or you're needing help with your budget, or you're needing a scholarship to go back to school, those are things that we can assist you with to help you get out of poverty and become more self-sufficient, so that your family doesn't have to stay there anymore.
How invaluable, not
Right.
only to the parent, but to society.
Yes.
This is. You don't know how many bad situations you could have deterred just because you were working
Yeah.
with the people.
Yeah,
Yep.
and we really do try to encompass the whole family. We don't just focus on the child, because we realize that child right now can't really affect their future at the moment. So we try to work with their parents so that they can help break that cycle by the time that child gets into the age where they're going to be contributing to the family income. So we really do try to focus on the family as a whole, and really help them with as much resources as we possibly can. For anybody that attends our self-sufficiency classes that she briefly mentioned, they also have access to our food pantry co-op, so they can receive a shopping pass for attending the classes and be able to use the food pantry to help supplement their household income by able to do that, and that sometimes really helps them with their money management side.
Well, and what an incentive.
Yes.
And over 50% of the individuals last year that went through our case management program either got a job or got a better job by the time that their case management was done.
And how many percent was that?
50, over 50.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, Judith and listeners, we go about our daily lives doing what we have to do to get by ourselves, and we often, maybe always, forget that there is a real need out there somewhere along the line. What we're talking about this morning is helping to fill a need. I'm thinking of the moms who care, the two ladies,
Yes.
doing a wonderful job of helping youngsters getting their school supplies and so forth, things that they wouldn't get otherwise. And one little snippet that really got to my core, they were talking about one of the youngsters sitting looking at her new shoes on her feet. Mm-hmm. And they said to them, well, she said, that's the first time I ever had shoes.
Yeah.
Now, that just really stuck me.
Yeah. It tears your heartstrings, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
We go about our daily lives, each and every one of us, with our own agenda to do. We don't realize, or we don't stop to think that there's some real need out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we felt that when we've done the winter coats. St. John's United Church of Christ always donates winter coats to our agency every year, and we make sure we distribute those. And we've seen that same face when we've had a child put on a coat, and they've either never had a coat or they've never had a new coat.
Right.
You know, and just to see the look on their face that it's so exciting for them, and that kind of, this is why we do this.
Yeah.
Well, kids have to be why we do good things.
Yeah.
Because that's the future. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you'll excuse me.
Right.
You had a dangling preposition out there.
Yeah, I did. I know.
I forgot what a dangling preposition is, but it's not important. You know, I'm thinking about this coat program for school kids. We started that here in Lincoln, Illinois. I got the dry cleaners organized to clean the coats free.
Oh.
And that went throughout our state association. And all throughout Illinois, we were cleaning coats in the fall for kids for free.
Yeah.
And that got to thousands of kids before it was all said and done.
Right.
That's really awesome.
Little thing, you know.
Yeah.
But as the old saying goes, little things mean a lot.
Yeah, it does.
Particularly if you're on the receiving end.
Right.
So now, with Operation Head Start, tell me again, at my age here, it goes in a hurry. At what age does this program kick in for these newborns?
Early Head Start, it can be before birth. So,
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yep, it can be before birth. And then Early Head Start goes up into 3, and then Head Start is from ages 3 to 5.
Now, what in the world can you do for a baby before it's born other than take your vitamins?
Well, you're really helping take care of the mama, helping her take care of her baby, making sure she takes her vitamins, making sure, she's eating the right foods, drinking enough water, preparing for the birth, and what life is going to be like, once that little baby comes, because life is a lot different once a little baby's here,
Which you're about to experience.
I'm about to experience in August, but that's really what it's about. It's really helping support the mom during that time, and then helping her
Is
once the
this
baby's
your
here.
first child?
It's my first baby, yes.
Is it? Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Surely working where you do and doing what you do is a big help to you, too, because how in the world are you supposed to know what's going to happen next month?
It's true. Thankfully,
She has brutally honest friends that have already done this before, like me.
yes. Thankfully, I have and that's,
Good for you.
that's a good parallel to mention. I have a great support system. I've got great friends. I've got great family here locally that, can step up and help me, and not everybody has that.
Right.
And so for those early Head Start parents that don't have a support system, that's really where we can come in and be that surrogate friend, family member, just be there for them during
Yes.
that time.
It's so important because actually the child, as I understand it, is affected
Yes.
by how you feel about your day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you can be a little prepared and know what's next,
Yeah.
it would be very helpful.
And
Yeah.
even sometimes just navigating the importance of your doctor visits when you're pregnant, understanding why they're important. Unfortunately, there are people out there that don't realize that they're important and why they're required. Transportation sometimes is a barrier for
Yes.
some, and if they're involved with our case management coaching that she was mentioning earlier, that we can help them get to their appointments with transportation. So we really do try to help them find solutions, break down the barriers early on, so that way their life can be more successful as it passes, and hopefully help their situation while they're currently pregnant, so that when that child comes and the child ages into the public school system, we can help the parents get to a better place and potentially out of poverty.
And what a goal that is.
Yes.
That is our goal.
It makes the parents proud
Yeah.
to think that they can, by golly, take care of their family.
Yep.
Right. And we do really focus on the dignity of work and the dignity of that pride of being able to support yourself. And that's why we do things a little bit differently than most social service agencies do. We hold the person accountable for their part of that coaching. We help them
Bernie
as much
Sanders
as
wouldn't like that.
we do our best to help them in situations that they need. We service emergencies when necessary, but like the food pantry co-op, that is really a benefit to people that are doing something for themselves, whether they're volunteering for the agency, they're attending the classes, they're doing something for themselves. Then that gives them the opportunity to do the food pantry, and it's set up like a grocery store. So they're actually like getting that dignity experience that they feel like they're shopping for themselves. Our biggest thing is we're giving a hand up, not a handout. So there's an accountability piece that has to happen, which sometimes social service doesn't really do that. So we work very differently in that way. And I think that teaches them that there is dignity behind that. It's, you have to do your part, and we'll help you along the way.
Here's a couple of gals signed on for the job.
Yeah.
You're impressive, young lady.
Thank you.
Well, you mentioned an important word to people who are receiving help. There's a dignity matter.
Yes.
To some that's a blow to some people.
Yes.
And not everybody can work with that.
Right.
So we're seeing hearing this morning that that's a part of the scheme.
Yeah.
Is to bring them in and not make them feel less,
Absolutely.
but rather better.
And I think one of the biggest kept secrets is, and why we're so focused on that, is our executive director is super passionate about helping people. She's super passionate about the dignity side of it. And she has openly talked about her own struggles. And she went through a time in her own life where she was in a poverty situation. And she has, luckily for her, had family support to help her through that process, and she openly talks about that. So when people come into our agency, we don't judge them for their situation. They come in, and I want them to feel like we've been there. There's multiple people in our staff that have gone through a very similar situation that they can actually relate to them about.
That would surely be a help to them.
Yeah.
And also to the people they're dealing with.
Yes, absolutely. It is. And to think that everybody from a classroom assistant in our Head Start classroom all the way up to the executive director of our agency have had personal experience with poverty. And, I think sometimes the judgment is somebody at a high level, like our executive director, they don't know. They've never dealt with that.
Yeah.
And she's been very open with the fact that she has personally had her own struggles in poverty, and she has done everything she can to work out of that. She has a dignity behind it, and she really preaches that to everybody at our agency and culturally. That's the vibe we give.
Yeah. So she can empathize rather than sympathize.
Yes.
It seems to me that you're emphasizing something that's very important to these folk. The word dignity keeps coming back. Mm-hmm. And if you've walked the walk, then you're going to have a lot better handle.
Absolutely.
And so, and also, Judith K., it's an employee attitude. And what we're seeing here, listeners, and enjoying is people with a do-it attitude that has to go along with this job, because they're affecting people's lives, and that's very important.
Yeah.
So, Breann and Katie, we thank you for being with us this morning.
Well, thank you so
for the
much for
invitation.
having us.
You have Katie, we'll give you a couple of seconds here to wrap up, and then we'll pass the ball to the former Titus girl. Go ahead, Katie.
I guess I'll finish on the cheeseburger note again. I'll just bring that back in. Our Cheeseburger in Paradise fundraiser, 14th annual, is happening on April 27th, Saturday at 6 p.m. We are excited about that. That's going to be at 201 Madigan Drive at the Lincoln Banquet Center. And we are still accepting donations. If people want to, sponsor anything, just to reach out to either Breann or myself, and we can make that happen.
And how would they do that?
They would call us at 217-732-2159. That's probably the best way to reach us. You can go on our website. We have a live chat option, and you can just say, that they're interested in talking to either Breann or myself, and you'll get us. Or also on the website is our email. We're millennials. We like email. So
Yeah.
Or
We are
Facebook.
too, but
I'm
it's
sitting
all
there
right.
thinking, I asked you for the phone number, and Judith K. and Ed, we do this all. Jim, you're going to have to check us, do this on our fitness report. We never ask. We never let the people know 648-5510 is the number. Somebody might have. We've still got a couple of minutes here. If you have any comments or questions of Breann and Katie, we thank you for taking your time with us. Go right ahead, Breann.
Yeah, so of course, just as a reminder, all the fantastic things that we've talked about today that Community Action does, that's what this event is for. That's what the proceeds go to. So like Katie mentioned, we are still looking for, some additional donations. Those can be items or monetary, because the monetary donations go to the total number of the event. So we're welcome to that. And of course, these events cannot happen without volunteers. So we are still looking for volunteers, and that can be for an hour, it can be for 2 hours, it can be for the whole night. And that information, there's a link to sign up to volunteer on the website, which is capsule.info. And then, of course, if you don't currently like our Facebook page and do have a Facebook account, you definitely want to do that, because that's where you're going to get all the information about our amazing programs and stay up to date about what's going on at Community Action.
And we would be amiss if we did not thank WLCN for their donation to Cheeseburger in Paradise. They do that every year,
Yes.
and we very much appreciate that.
And their
That'd
constant
be you,
support
Jim.
all the
Mr.
time.
Jim Ash.
Yes, we love WLCN. We're here often, and they're always great supporters of us and welcome us with open arms. So we appreciate that partnership, definitely.
Well, we thank you so much for coming out this morning, and good luck to you. I know you'll have good luck. There are still tickets available, so get yourself a ticket and have a good time.
Thank you so
This
much.
Saturday, the 27th,
Yes,
6 p.m.
yes.
at the
Next Saturday.
At the banquet hall. Yes.
Next Saturday.
I said next Saturday, not
Yeah.
this Saturday.
Yeah,
Yes.
next Saturday. This Saturday's,
Get our
this
act
weekend's
together.
Easter.
Well, you see,
Well, they
fine.
could set their route anyway.
True,
of how to
true.
get
Wanna
there
go out
this Saturday.
Set their GPS machine on their
There you go.
All right, thank you very much, ladies. 648-5510. If you want to call, even after we're off the air, Mr. Ash will get the information for you and make sure you get correct information. Nice way to spend an evening. Drop an extra buck or two. That won't hurt. Remember, always, there's somebody worse off than you are. Thank you very
Absolutely.
much, girls.
Thank you.